Morning to you, it's Will Felwinter here, the man in black, the cat in the hat, the dude with the goggles and the do-rap. And today, guys, I just want to shoot the little shit a bit with you. I don't have anything set up for you or anything like that. It's more, sometimes I do this little heart-to-heart talk and stuff like that. Why the hell they rolling through here? But I wanted to talk to y'all about a few little subjects in my head and what I see going on around me and stuff like that. Especially for the dudes. All right. Gentlemen, there comes a point, especially for us colored folk. Now, as far as the other races go, y'all know me. They're not my responsibility. But when it comes to us mixed folk, or what I call colored people, there comes a point where we got to start manning up. What I mean by that is, well, number one, we need to start stepping up against real evil. We need to start stepping up and being men and defending our communities and stuff. All right, look, I have a friend, for instance, right? He lives in a certain type of apartment complex and stuff like that. And in the beginning, the place was really nice. Your dude pays about $800,000-$900,000 a month, whatever, give or take. You know how rent is. But now all of a sudden, it started taking the government subsidy and all that shit, the Section 8. And now you know what kind of crowd is showing up, right? Yeah. Fat Back in Black, the EBT crowd, the hood. Now, mind you, Waynesboro, Virginia is Mayberry. I'm not kidding. I think we have like 6 cops in this entire town. Waynesboro's nothing. You blink twice and you'll miss it if you ride past it, So, the black people around here, wherever they go, they want that hood bullshit. You know what I'm saying? This the new hood. This the hood. And they ruin everything wherever they go. Right? Well, they showed up at my friend's apartment complex. And again, these are nice apartments and stuff. And he's telling me, look, man, I'm just going to move. Now, you have to also remember something, too. I'm Gen X. So I'm watching this. That's why I keep looking at it. But I'm Gen X. You know how we dealt with bullies, right? We punched that motherfucker in the mouth. We fought back. Even if you had to pick up a rock, you know what I'm saying? We put it down and got it done. Guys, when you have these kind of people moving into your apartment complexes and stuff, chase them the fuck out. All right, this dude is telling me about how a couple weeks ago, there was 2 gay homeless dudes having gay butt time in the hallway, in the stairwell of this apartment complex. People that live there got kids. Think on that for a moment. Imagine you open the door, getting ready to take your kids down to the school bus, and 2 dudes. I'm clapping, YouTube. I'm clapping. Okay? You got to explain that shit. You see what I'm saying? My advice to people that have to deal with that kind of shit, chase these motherfuckers out. Oh, you want to be EBT? Hello, police? 12:30 at night, your kid's outside screaming and you got to get up and go to work. No. There comes a point where even if you got to throw hard bitches, you got to throw dukes. That's what we used to say back in the day, throw dukes. There comes a point where you can't just move out because that shit's going to follow you no matter where you go. It's when you stand up to bullies. And let's be honest, that's what black people are. Bullies. That's how pathetic white people are, really, because that's what's bullying you. You see what I'm saying? You gotta fight that kind of shit. All right? And a lot of people will tell you, oh, well, I got a job. I can't lose this. I ain't going to jail. Sometimes a man's got to walk tall and carry a big stick. Because you can only run but so much. But I want you to think about something else as well. You've lived in a place and you're paying rent to live there, right? You've been there for 3, 4, maybe even 5 years. Just saying. All right? Your rent is $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year. Now multiply that by 5. You have paid for the right to be there. You see what I'm saying? You come up out your pocket, you pay rent, you a good tenant. Ain't nobody got no complaints about you or nothing. Right? And then all of a sudden, the EBT shows up. Wanting to be all ghetto and ratchet. And you got to up and move. You paid out of your pocket to live there. You have a right to be there. The EBT crowd, the gang bangings and all them, they don't. The fudge packings, they don't have a right to be there. The homeless don't have a right to be there. See what I'm saying? And I get it. You stand to lose something there. You really do, especially if you have to put in work. That's how young people say it, right? Put in work. Hey, man, sometimes you got to. You have to. My advice to people that are in that situation, fight back. Fight back. Well, the police, man, fuck the police. Fuck the police. Where the police when you had gay people having gay butt sex in your freaking stairwell? Where was the police then? Well, I might get evicted and all that stuff. Okay. But at the end of the day, getting evicted is still better than running away. Because you start running now, you're never going to stop. Ask any Gen Xer. We'll all tell you that. You have to face down the bully. And these homeless folks, especially here in Waynesboro, Virginia, man. These homeless folk, these drug addicts, these wannabe thugs. Like I said, Waynesboro, Virginia is fucking Mayberry. Barney Fife and his one bullet would be okay here. I am not kidding. This ain't New York City or Richmond or none of that. Okay? It's nothing here. It's full of old people, for real. All right? But yet we got all these homeless folks and stuff like that because don't nobody stand up to them. Don't nobody say anything to them. Don't nobody sit there and say, nah, how come I got to work, but you just sit around and get paid? And then you got the gall to make demands. No, we're not doing this. Nobody does that. Everybody's just, okay, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Or I don't want to go to jail, which prison terrifies me. It does. But for the right cause, sometimes you got to sacrifice. See, this is why I can't get down with a conservative. This is why. All right. I know I'm crazy. Duh. I told y'all that in the fucking beginning that I'm nuts. But the main reason why I can't get down with conservatives and stuff like that is because they cry the victim card. They're the same thing as a libtard. But I will give liberals credit. I will give you credit where it's due. Y'all will throw the fuck down and get stupid. You will do what you think is right. Even though it ain't. Even though you're a traitor to your race and your country, you will still, well, I mean, I'd ask Charlie Kirk, but he got a hole in his neck. Was it right? No. And Charlie didn't deserve what he got. But a libtard left, if they see, look, talking ain't going to work, they'll pull the trigger. They'll do what must be done. As to where a conservative curls up in the corner, political violence. Then you wonder why the spam burger wins. You wonder why Barack Obama hasn't been brought up on charges of treason. Look up some of the shit this dude has done. He should be brought up on charges of treason. But the conservatard won't do that. They won't really stand and fight. And here's the thing about the conservatives that pisses me off the most. Y'all are the ones talking about, her, there, my Constitution, her, there, the Second Amendment, her, there, freedom of speech. But you will not exercise it. You won't exercise it at all. You won't do nothing. You make idle threats and that's it. I mean, think about it. These libtards have gotten so out of hand that they're starting to go into gated communities. We remember the dude with the M16 and the fucking chick with the Walter PPK. It looked like the James Bond pistol. We remember them? Sitting there, I will shoot you. What are you doing here? But y'all the ones want to cry about, oh, they took our bump stocks. Oh, my Constitution. Then use it. You won't. You can't make no money on YouTube if you actually do that. The liberal and the conservative, they're the two sides of the same coin of futility, failure, and madness. Okay? And colored Americans, mixed race folk, there come a point where we got to start looking at these idiots saying, nah, and if you don't leave me alone, I'm going to pick up a rock and bust your fucking head. You fuck with one, you're going to have to fight us all. We throw them hard bitches here when you fuck with somebody. Because at the end of the day, when you go back and you look at it, all the EBT crowd is, all the Black reparations crew is, all these people are is bullies. That's all they are. And that tells you how pathetic white people really are too. I want you to think about something. But yeah, I've done this before. I have shown y'all something like this before. But I can scare the ever-loving shit out of white people with that. I'm not kidding. This is what's oppressing black people. People that are scared of a box cutter. But it can cut people, and you can cut yourself, and you can hurt yourself, and oh my God, it's a knife. I've said it before, and I've said it again on this channel. I've had the police called on me so many times. They know who I am by description. And they'll tell you, contact them about the night walker, the man in black, guy with the buck knife, me, cat in the hat, me, Will. They'll tell you, yeah, most of the time we just disregard it. We know it's just him. He doesn't bother anybody. Disregard, it's just Will. Disregard. Because these fools are scared of everything. That's why I be so hard on people and try to beat in your head about being strong. That's why I did the video, The Riddle of Steel. Okay, because you have people that are terrified of a piece of metal in a country where we have guns. And people's only answer to stuff like this is to run away instead of stand and fight for your community. I want you to think about something. And I know I sound like I'm crazy. And saying it, I think maybe I was born in the wrong era. I really do. I think I wasn't meant to be in the 2000s. I should have been back in the early 1900s or some shit, or in the 40s at the very least, you know? Because in my brain, I'm thinking like this. Okay, let's look at Chicago. Chirac. If all the people of Chirac picked up a weapon and told the gangbanging, look, you ain't going to do that shit here. You going to get the fuck out or get shot. Guess what would happen? Them gangbangers would leave. They would leave because people in gangs and stuff like they're cowards. They're cowards. They can't fight for themselves. We made fun back in the 80s and 90s. We made fun of people in gangs. You a bitch. You can't stand there and fight. You going to run get a gun. What kind of punk motherfucker does that shit? Granted, Gen X did perfect gangbanging too. Don't get it twisted. Especially out in like California, up in New York and all that shit. Oh, yeah. But the rest of the country, once they come up out of Oakland and all that shit, yeah, them niggas knew how to behave then because buckshot hurts. You see what I'm saying? There comes a point where you got to stand up and fight the bully. Because if you don't, that bully's going to keep taking your money. He's going to keep mistreating you. You see what I mean? You can't just sit back and hope that people can be talked with and people can be reasoned with and all that stuff. Because at the end of the day, kids, you and I both know that ain't going to happen. Especially when it comes to the EBT, the libtard, the conservatard, the useless waste of breath and space and life. Sorry about that. I had to fix my heater. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't just run away. And like I said earlier, you live in a place and you paying rent and you've been there for a couple of years. You've put several $1,000s. You've invested in that. That's your home. You can't let nobody chase you out of your home. You see what I'm saying? And I know I sound crazy, you know, but there comes a point, well, look, we're in crazy ass times. Think about it. We live in a time, y'all, where people don't know what their private parts are for. Here in America, you know, the country that coined the term, please, someone think of the children. A pedophile will get less time, all right, than somebody that steals shit. Think about that for a minute. We live in crazy times. The world has gone nuts. These niggas have lost their minds. That's why I'm always on y'all about strength. Be strong. Through unity, we gain strength. Through strength, we obtain and take power. See what I mean? That's why I'm always telling y'all also never side with someone else over your own kind. You never do that. Look at white and black people. The other part that I wanted to address, especially when it comes to males, is this issue with women that I keep seeing going on. Gentlemen, if you really want the good woman to go for the good woman. Now, Will, what do you mean by that? The good woman knows what accountability and responsibility is. See, a lot of y'all treat women like children. Well, I mean, look, white and black people have been doing it since their inception, since they first began. Their women have never had any accountability or responsibility at all. Okay? And now, because of the internet and stuff like that, women have got y'all gaslit into thinking that accountability is the same thing as sexuality. Because when you try to say this to certain dudes, they'll tell you, oh, I don't want no other man up in my bed. That ain't nobody talking about that. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, for example, we know Adolf Hitler is the fucking devil. We know that, right? Because of Adolf Hitler, with World War II, he caused the death of, let's round it up to an even 9 or 10 million people, right? Women here in the West with abortion since Roe v. Wade in the 1960s have caused the death of an estimated 74 million plus children before they were even born. Now, we vilify Hitler. Hell, you still have people to this day that vilify Germany because of the Holocaust. You see what I'm saying? Now, there's nothing sexual about that. There's nothing, gay or straight about any of what I just said. If women were held to the same standard as a man, every woman in America would be on trial. If you haven't had an abortion, you supported it. There was a Nuremberg for the Nazis. I want you to think about that. These kind of women also will tell you, well, Margaret Sanger was a champion of feminism. She introduced Planned Parenting and abortion into a minority community, the Negro Project, which all that was, and I've said this before, all that was black population control. It's not about beating cheeks, gentlemen. It's about women being held to the same standard as men. And that's what's going to have to start happening, especially with us. Because our women come pre-brainwashed as it is. Look what raised them. Race traitor white women or black women. Look what raised them. They don't know any better. But I tell you what, that wound goes even deeper. Just women here in America, just black and white women alone. Okay? Look at the lynchings of the 1900s. See what I'm saying? How many niggas wound up hanging from a tree because a white woman screamed, "A nigga raped me"? Rosewood, Florida, in 1923, over 200 slaughtered in 4 days. They can't even tell you where the fuck Rosewood was, which I have a kind of an idea. All that supernatural shit in Florida that be happening on a certain interstate, that's probably where Rosewood was. I mean, evil like that, man, that shit leaves wounds. I'm not a supernatural believer. I have studied it so I can understand what I'm dealing with, but I don't play with that shit. I'm just saying, yeah. We might talk about that some other time. Yeah, that's an interesting topic. But back on subject, not one white woman was held accountable. Not one. And it was a white woman that started it. How many brothers throughout the 50s, all the way up, or through the 1900s, all the way up to the 60s, wound up lynched out of trees? Look at Medgar Evers, gunned down in his front yard. White women cheering. Our men was defending us. How many Native Americans were fired on with Gatling guns and howitzers to protect their women's? Look up Sand Creek and Wounded Knee, especially what was done to Chief Bigfoot. That shit was fucked up. Not one woman was held accountable. It's always white men that are blamed for it. Think on that for a minute. In the 1960s up, white women looked at the Ku Klux Klan and said, "Hold my beer," spread her legs and obliterated an entire race of people in less than 40 years. Y'all think I'm joking? People that ain't from the Shenandoah, y'all think I'm joking? Come here and look around. You'll see a lot more of this than you do black. We outnumber blacks 2, 3, in some places even 4 to 1 here. We're all over the place. I've said this before and I've said it again. I've met people that ain't from here, and when they come here and they're looking around, there is a whole lot of mixing going on. Because y'all came out here, fucked around, and created a whole new race of human that doesn't want to deal with none of you. You see what I'm saying? Think about that. How many of us half blacks alone would be pure-blooded and black if it wasn't for a white or black female with open thighs on their back? Think about it. And I don't want to hear love doesn't know race. Yeah, bitch, Prima Nocta does. Ask Count Dankula about William Wallace and the Longshanks. Think about that shit, man. And women are never, ever held accountable for the shit they do. Okay? That's what I'm talking about when I say we hold women as an equal. All right? Not now, women physically can't do the same things men do. We know that. They can't stand up and pee. All right. Men have thicker muscles and thicker bones than women. We're physically stronger. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm talking about when it comes to social rules, policies. You see what I'm saying? Customs, tradition. A man kills somebody and gets 20 years. A woman kills somebody the same way, she gets 20 years. It's that simple. I don't care if it's a woman. That shit ain't fair. Y'all want to cry about all this equality. You want to cry about all this empowerment, but you don't want the consequences. You don't want the responsibility and accountability that comes with it. Like what I just said, that women can't physically do what men do. No, but y'all can do some of it. We've all seen that weird-faced white chick talking about anything men can do, women can do better. Yeah, shut up, skank. I pay a hooker to leave. Because that's all women like you are, hookers. You're prostitutes. I pay you to get out. Feel me? Here's your money. Get the fuck out. All right? Because a lot of the examples that woman shows, it's not a physical issue, it's a skill issue. Women can do a lot of that stuff too. You see what I'm saying? But nah, y'all want to treat women like children. Y'all want to be like white people and have that serious Oedipus complex, or black people and have that Oedipus thing where you want to fuck your daughter or some shit. Or you sit there, women can't be my equal. Okay. You know, they did that shit in the 50s and 60s, and in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, we had AIDS and feminism. Look at the damage that it's done. And what did women do? Hit the ground running with power they did not earn. And if you look at Western history, every time white people do that shit, your shit falls apart. Every single time. We must become more. We must become better. You see what I'm saying, gentlemen? You see all these women. And look, when I was talking about abortion, I should say this. I understand that there are fucked up circumstances. I get that. I understand that completely. All right. What if it's actual rape? And I'm sorry if you got triggered, but we face evil on this channel. We don't treat these words like fucking Voldemort. We face it down head on. If you don't like that, man, you might want to go somewhere else, because we throw verbal hard bitches here, like sexual assault. I understand these things happen, and I do not condone it. Okay? It's wrong to make a woman try to have a baby after some shit like that. That's fucked up. She didn't ask for that shit. Now she's pregnant with this little monster inside of her. That shit ain't right. I can understand if the kid's going to be born with cerebral palsy, especially the bad shit where they're just boogered the fuck up in that chair and can't even talk right. Okay, yeah, that's fucked up. They're just a quivering piece of meat in a chair. That's wrong. I can understand if the kid had Down syndrome. I don't have a problem with people with Down syndrome, and the fact that I had to even mention that is fucking stupid. Fuck you, internet. But these people don't even make it past 30. And the fucked up part about Down syndrome, in the comic books, you got an extra few chromosomes, you get superpowers. In real life, you're Corgi from Life Goes On. Uba dee, uba da. That's fucked up. And like I just said, these people don't make it past 30 without serious complications. And they just die anyways. I could understand, like T-Boss from TLC, sickle cell anemia. We could have lost her and the baby both. Big ups to T-Boss saying, fuck that, I'm having this baby. But how many abortion doctors now are going on panels talking about out of all the like 10, 15, 20, 30,000 abortions I performed, maybe 100 had something wrong or was a product of incest or rape? Where was that conscience when you were tearing human beings apart within the womb? You see what I'm saying? And no one holds women accountable for this. Y'all have killed more human beings with abortion, okay, than World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, Desert Storm, and the War on Terror combined. Adolf Hitler, Genghis Khan, Attila the Hun, okay? Vlad the Impaler. You roll these guys together, they still don't hold a candle to y'all. Well, except for maybe Genghis Khan, because, I mean, he did create the Mongol Empire. And them launching plague bodies over walls, bubonic plague, wiped out 75% of Europe. So maybe Genghis, you can pull him out. Yeah, because a lot of that was his fault. But the rest of the great male tyrants, they can't hold a candle to what feminism has done. And yet y'all still keep comparing people to Adolf Hitler. I have a question for you. Do you want to know the difference between the Jews of the Holocaust and unborn children? A Jew can run away. A Jew can fight back. A Jew can beg for their life. A Jew can ask for help. A Jew can betray their own people to save their skin. A Jewish woman can offer up her body to save her life. I'm not passing judgment. The Holocaust was fucking awful. You do what you have to do to survive. I'm not passing judgment on that. What I'm passing judgment on is a fetus can't do none of that. A child can't do any of those things. So who's worse, a Nazi or a feminist? Who was the worst tyrant in the past 100 years? Adolf Hitler or Roe v. Wade? Or Margaret Sanger, who introduced that very concept into a minority community to obliterate them? You see what I'm talking about accountability now? But these women have got y'all young men gaslit into thinking accountability is the same thing as sexuality. No, it's not. Ain't nobody looking to have another man in their bed. Well, unless you're gay. Yeah, I got a little something to say on that subject too, but that's for another time. I mean, I want y'all to truly stop and look at society around us. Most of what aches America now is this bullshit competition that's went on between black and white women for nearly 100 years. And it's all about getting white men. That's why I keep telling y'all that black people worship at the altar of whiteness. They do, especially black women. Look at their head and tell me they don't. Look at the hair hat. Black women don't have hair like that. You see what I'm saying? Have you seen Little Kim lately? Yeah. God damn, I was thirsty. Shit. Motherfucker sucked the water right out of you. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Ain't nobody trying to say you have to have a butch-ass woman in your bed. No. There's a reason I admire the hell out of Florida Evans. I do. I bring her up a lot. I ask a couple of my friends, a couple of y'all subscribers. There's a reason I bring up Florida Evans, because she was a bad motherfucking woman. She was awesome. She might not have been the prettiest woman in the world, but there were episodes where, James was working his ass off. He was doing everything in his power, and it just wasn't enough. Did Florida do what these modern women do? Well, I'm leaving your ass. You ain't got the bag. No, she didn't. She didn't break up their family. She looked at James and said, baby, I can give me a part-time job. That might have hurt James' pride, but that's a rider. That's a real woman right there. You're opposite but equal in all things. A man should have reach. A woman needs flexibility. You see what I'm saying? A man has focus. A woman must multitask. You see what I'm saying? A man is strong and disciplined. A woman must have compassion. All right? Of equal standing. What's good for one has to be good for the other here. All right? Ain't nobody talking about having a butch-ass woman. Ain't nobody talking about Leslie Jones or some shit. No, I'm not talking about that. But these females have got y'all thinking accountability and responsibility is the same thing as sexuality. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay, she could be effeminate and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, she's just as accountable for the home as you are. You see what I mean? You know what? Yeah, she might be a housewife, but when you get home, there's food on the table. House is clean. Kids is taken care of. You know what I'm saying? She's rubbing your shoulders and stuff. Or the other side of that coin, she got a job too. She working too. She paid the same amount of bills you do. Y'all bigging up together. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of these toxic motherfuckers like the red pill community, that nipplehead Myron from Fresh and Fit, you know what I'm saying? They got you believing a woman like that, well, she just trying to be a man. No, she lives in that house too. She eats food too. She runs up utilities too. She's bringing her own benefits to the table. You and her are riding each other. How is that wrong? It's not. Okay? And a lot of this issue goes back with the old races all the way back to Paradise Lost. All right? The story of Adam, Lilith, and Eve. Now, the people that wrote the Bible in Paradise Lost, and it's spelled Bible, fuck y'all, it's not spelled right. If that's the word of your almighty Jimmy, that motherfucker can't spell. Put the book down because you got the wrong message out of it to begin with. Okay? When God created mankind, he created Adam and Lilith. He created them the exact same way. From the clay of the earth, he breathed the breath of life into both bodies at the same time. Lilith was not meant to serve Adam. She was meant to walk at Adam's side, to be his equal. Without man, you don't get woman. Without woman, you don't get man. Okay? So what went wrong? Lilith wanted to enjoy Adam every once in a while when they were together as man and woman, you know, when they were having sex. It's been like almost half hour. Oh my God. Okay. When they were together, she wanted to be on top. Now, of course, man babies are, well, she tried to dominate Adam. Shut the fuck up and quit being a man child. Men like you are the reason feminism exists. Shut up. Stop talking. I ain't got time for stupid. No, she wanted to be treated as Adam's equal. She was made the exact same way he was. Okay. Adam was being such a fucking intolerable little man-child that Lilith literally had to speak the true name of God. And God banishes her from the garden. What did she do? She was being mistreated. God, seeing what went on, said, okay, Adam, here's what you want. He laid Adam down and removed a rib from his body and formed Eve. Now, Lilith was willing to walk the garden with Adam. She was willing to work in the field. She was willing to work the same as Adam. Okay? Eve's stupid ass, all she did was look in the pool and look at how pretty she was and eat the fruits of Adam's labors and not do shit. Sound fucking familiar, gentlemen? Sound familiar? Lilith didn't damn all women of earth. No, Eve did. Eve was the one who listened to the serpent. Eve was the one who convinced Adam to eat of the fruit, not Lilith. So how come Lilith is the one that's being vilified in these stories? Because white people, Middle Eastern people, and all the old races are butt fucking retards and didn't get the message that you don't want the pretty little wife that just sits at home and is a trophy. No, that bitch is useless. You pay a hooker to leave. You don't pay her to stay. You keep that woman that's a rider like Florida Evans and is willing to get a little part-time job and help pay the bills. That's willing to pull her weight. Willing to be held accountable for the home, for the marriage, for all of it. Because she's your rider, she's your equal, she's your road dog. That has nothing to do with sexuality, gentlemen. Nothing whatsoever. And ladies, there's nothing wrong with a woman being on top of her man sometimes. There's nothing, I think it's sexy, so I mean, all right? Stop being man children. Start holding these women accountable for their actions. Because holding a woman accountable doesn't make you gay. Having butt sex with a dude makes you gay. I mean, hello? Did we not get the memo on that? And seriously, all you men out there that want to talk, oh, these women can't be my equal, I'm better than a woman. Ain't no woman. No, shut the fuck up and die alone, man. Die alone. You're in the way. Stop. Because that's how white and black people act. And look at how well shit has worked out for them. This is why I'm on the internet trying to save us from this shit. Because it's stupid. It's stupid. And then also, look at how miserable these motherfuckers are on the internet. They're utterly miserable. Because you walk in the path of life alone. And for humans, a lone human is a dead human. That's just awful. Not everybody's a hard bastard like me. Because I didn't listen. I didn't go for the good woman that wanted to be there with me and challenge me. You know, as far as mental. You know, not challenge my position as a man. But challenge my mind. No, I wanted to be with the chicks that reminded me of my mom. I admit it. Oedipus bullshit. Black and white people do this stuff, and look at how miserable they are. Look at all the chicks on the internet complaining, where are all the women, or where are all the good men at? You ain't worth it. The only thing you worth is bust a nut on your cheeks, drop 150 and step away because y'all want to be hookers. All the men, where are all the good women at? You treat them like shit. You expect them to act like a prostitute, lie on the bed and give you head and do your job. Yeah. Slob on a knob. Yeah. Go out here and make me a sandwich. Nigga, that is your woman, not your maid. Nor is it a mama you can fuck. Stop being a damn man-child, gentlemen. Stop it. You want to go out here and be on the motherfucking video game, but you don't want to go get a job and work to support your family. And then you sitting there mad, calling women whore trash and whore sluts, because all they want is your money, and you ain't worth the shit out your own ass. Stop doing that. Stop it. Stop listening to these hurt, bent-ass, old-ass men that made bad choices, or these men that are in a marriage and the reason they're still there is because it's cheaper to keep her. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. You want to take some advice from an old dog gray in the muzzle a little bit, old gray beard? Yeah. You want that woman to, what y'all young people call it, the rider. She your road dog, your partner, period. I don't give a damn she ain't the prettiest thing. Florida Evans wasn't the prettiest woman in the world, but I put it down with her because I know she got my back. Period. She would have my back. Unlike these hoochie whores today that just see you as a walking, talking ATM. Dick goes in, money comes out, your wallet. Gentlemen, you pay a hooker to leave. You don't pay him to stay. And that's all the modern housewife is. That's not a woman. There's a reason why it's man and woman. See what I'm saying? Woman isn't lesser than men. She's just different. See what I'm saying? Y'all got to stop this stupidness out here. This constant bickering between man and woman. Because, I mean, dude, look at Japan. They can't even make babies no more. Think about that. It's been almost 40 minutes, me just sitting here shooting the shit with y'all. I got shit to do today. Look, y'all can stay in the system. Y'all can join us in the mountains. And as long as Trump is in that office, people are still going to keep acting stupid. And until we start throwing these hard bitches. Now, I'm being serious. Throwing serious hard bitches upside a motherfucker head that want to burn up your home, that want to destroy your communities, that want to push socialism into your country, that want to touch your kids. All right? That want to keep on turning men to women and women to men and cutting people privates off and shit. All right? That want to keep allowing peasants to invade our nation. Until we start throwing these hard bitches upside their head, it's not going to stop, and it's only going to get worse. It's Will Feldwinter, y'all, and y'all stay safe, and you live well out there. God damn, this took forever.